Hi there, here's the free video we promised to send you when you spoke to my son Chris yesterday. This is a custom video for Smith Brothers Painting, and we're going to share some tips that you can do to improve your online presence. As my son mentioned yesterday, there's no selling in the video. We are a small business ourselves, and so we believe in that givers gain. We try to find ways to give back to the community, and this custom video is a way of doing that. We're hoping that these are bringing value and service to other small businesses. But your feedback would be important to us so that we know that we're actually being helpful. If you watch the video and have some tips for us, that would be awesome so that we can continue to improve this service. So what I'm going to go over in the video is content, backlinks, and citations and why these are important website elements for you to have. We'll take a peek at your company's online presence, and I'll make recommendations that I see. Content is anything on your website. It's the words, the images, and the videos. Content is important because this allows Google to crawl your website and find the keywords that describe exactly what it is you're providing and what services you are offering from your business. Ideally, your homepage should have at least 1,500 words and your back page is 500 words. And this is because this is a good number to for you to embed all of those keywords onto your website, okay? And also entice Google to crawl your website. Citations are the listings you get in directories like Google and Yelp. And this is merely your business name, your address, and your phone number. But you want to have this throughout the internet and even more than your competition. And then backlinks are the placement of your website address onto other websites. So for example, if you have a Facebook page or you're on Twitter or LinkedIn, these are considered backlinks and they're helping to drive traffic to your website. The more backlinks you have, the more popular your website becomes. In fact, Google places extremely high emphasis on how many backlinks a website has. So the more you have, the greater validation Google gives you. But you want to make sure all your backlinks are relevant because not all backlinks are created equal. There are backlinks that won't count. So for example, if you're placing your website onto websites having to do with veterinary care or massage therapy or anything like that that's not related to your line of work, then Google will actually not count those. So you want to make sure with you have a painting business, so you're going to make sure it's related to painting or home improvement or remodeling, something around that area, okay? So let's take a look and jump in over to Google for a moment. I'm going to come back to your website. So I just want to go over a few things about Google and how this all works. So when someone comes to Google, they, of course, type in keywords. And these keywords, they may seem really simple. At the granular level, they are very important and significant because Google uses the exact organic keywords that are most used to decide who should rank for them. So it's important to be using keywords that people actually type into Google on your website, okay? So when we are doing a search for painters, Baltimore, Maryland, at first we're presented with ads, and these are paid advertisements that businesses are grabbing. Two things to note. First, a lot of people don't see ads because they have ad blockers. And two, you'll see some of these ads happen to sometimes be like Angie's List or Thumbtack or Houzz or Home Advisor, those kinds of services. If you're using those services, that's great as part of your advertisement. I have nothing against those, but something you should know if you don't already is that those services are charging you for every lead, whether or not you land it. And that same lead is given to 4 other companies, and all 5 of you are paying the same price for that lead, even though only one of you will get it. The prime real estate that you should be shooting for is the map pack area here. And this is important because this is the area that Google has placed for Painters Baltimore, Maryland, who they perceive to be the 3 top businesses. Okay, so most of the traffic is happening here. Well, a great portion, I won't say most because I can't really say all the time that that's happening, but most cases, most of the traffic or the majority of the traffic that is happening where people are actually clicking takes place in the map pack or on the first few pages of Google. Usually you want to be listed, your business needs to be listed on the first 3 pages or so. You don't want to be too far on Google because most people, if you think about your Google behavior, you're not going to the 7th most likely or 8th page. You're really looking on the first few pages for the services or products that you're actually looking for, right? So that should be your goal. And the things that I've mentioned so far, the content, backlinks, and citations will help you to get there. So let's take a look at your website. First of all, I have to say that your website is not terrible as far as how it's presented. I do have some tips for you though, just to enhance it and for you to help get your website ranked better, okay? So one thing I would recommend is you have some contact links here, but one thing that I always recommend to businesses is have a small contact form somewhere on the top of the screen so that it's like the first thing they see. And this is giving your visitors, your website visitors, an opportunity to sign up and give you their information right off the bat. They might be like in a hurry. They may not have time to be on the phone call with you, but there they can just plug in their name, their phone number, their email, or whatever. And that way you have a lead and you can follow up with them immediately, okay? The other thing is I would say some of your fonts and everything are kind of really tiny. I would enhance those a little bit so that it stands out and makes it easier for people to use. Like, and it's just on certain areas. I would actually make this a little bit bigger down here. And then also I noticed that you don't have a whole lot of content on your page. Okay, so I would certainly recommend, if you do nothing else but to add content, that's going to be important. Because it's going to help you to outrank your competition. Most people don't have enough content, but if you have at least 1,500 words or more, you're going to right off the bat be knocking a lot of people out of place because you'd have more than others. And with more content, Google will get on your page and they will spend more time on your page. Not only will they spend more time, but they will come to your website frequently. And as a result of that, they'll become more familiar with your business. They'll become more familiar with the keywords that are showing what it is you do. And overall, you'll just be one of their preferred providers for painting services in Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, so definitely do that. Get that content up. And then also something people don't do or don't realize is that your images are actually speaking for your website as well. So what I mean by that is when Google crawls your website, they're not only grabbing text and scanning that to see what it says about your business, but they also look at your images and your other media and to look and see how you've tagged it. So what I recommend is whenever you're saving any sort of media or graphic on your website, give it a name that describes what it is you do. So for example, this just says exterior, I think. Let me go and see. Actually, it just says transparent, which doesn't mean anything, right? That doesn't tell us what it is you do. But instead, tag that photo as something like exterior painting, Baltimore, Maryland. Why is that important? Because that's another keyword that people type in, right? And if they're typing that in, guess what? You have these keywords throughout your website that the more frequently you have these keywords, the more Google trusts, hey, that's what they do. They keep highlighting that. That's something that they really do. So go ahead and do that when you're adding your content. Make sure all of your images have meaningful text and keywords that actually describe your services. The other thing I want to do is go over your data. So this is all Google Analytics data. We'll see right now you have a popularity ranking of 0, and that's 1 to 100. This is not meant to be discouraging. This is only to show you the opportunities lie ahead for you, okay? You don't have very many backlinks, so you definitely want to be grabbing backlinks. This is something you grab on a continuous basis just to keep your juice out there, to keep your website highly visible to others. You also want to be grabbing citations, and referring domains as well. You only had 70 at one time, you're down to 3, and that's because these backlinks, like I said, you continually need to be adding these on a regular basis because they don't stay there indefinitely. They do dwindle over time. The same thing with referring domains. The other thing I want to say is your your number of keywords is a little bit sparse. So what I would recommend is you add more keywords to describe what it is you do. The keywords that you have, here are great in that they are buyer intent keywords, but they are mostly dealing with only Baltimore. I'm pretty sure you go outside of Baltimore. I could be wrong, but if you do, you want to take advantage of that and have similar keywords for Baltimore. For other areas that you go to in Maryland. If you go to Virginia, consider that as well as DC. And then the other thing I would say, what was the other thing? I did notice on your website you do other things too, like power washing, but I don't see power washing as a keyword anywhere here. So that's something too that you're going to want to make sure, okay? Exterior cleaning, exterior house painting. I'm sorry, exterior power washing. But yeah, definitely beef up your keywords. And if you have questions about that, I can certainly give you more information. The best way to do that is look at your competition to see what kind of keywords they are using. I'm going way over. I apologize. This video is turning into a long one, but I'm going to wrap it up here. But I just want to show you one of your competition hands-on painters. You can see compared to your traffic, you're getting 0 traffic right now to your website, whereas they're getting about 160 or 70 visits per day to their website. So definitely remember these key things. Content, backlinks, citations. Okay, those are going to help you to close this gap a bit and hopefully boost your business and grab some of those customers. Okay. All right, I'm going to end this here. First of all, I hope this has been helpful. Please shoot me some feedback. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if these videos that we're making are helpful or not, good or bad. We want to know. And from there, I'm going to end it. Have a wonderful evening, and I wish you much continued success. Take care. Bye-bye.